it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Hey everybody, thank you for listening or watching Kicking It with Kay and Clay. I am your girl, Kay Marie, and thank you for another segment of Center Stage. As you know, Center Stage is a segment here on the show where we highlight and put the spotlight, on artists, different creatives, whether they are poets or authors or actresses or anything of the sort. So today is no different. We have a great guest today, and I am going to introduce her. Today's guest is a compelling director, writer, and filmmaker with experience creating campaign videos for nonprofit organizations, entertainment events, narrative, and documentary films. She believes it's her God given calling to transform lives using the gift of storytelling. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Kicking It with Kay and Clay's Center Stage, Paige Alston. How are you, Paige?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having
Good.
me.
Thanks for coming. Now, is it Alston or Alston?
It's Austin.
Alston. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, I
So,
like the background. It's very nice.
oh, thank you. Clay's friend,
Uh-huh.
he does backdrops. So Clay went downtown and took different pictures of downtown,
Nice.
and he made this beautiful backdrop. It's gorgeous. Can't see the
Nice.
whole thing, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
You gotta love Detroit, the
Yeah.
scenery and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said in the intro, you are a writer, you're a film director, you're a filmmaker. And how did you get into it? What made you want to tell stories visually?
I actually got into the whole video and media field when I was in high school. I was a part of this youth development center, which is called Youthville Detroit.
Hmm.
It used to be downtown Detroit, kind of near the North End area.
Okay.
But they had a digital media arts program, and they had a full studio, and they
Mm,
taught um, they taught video production. And so, my dad he came to me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to take this video class." I took the video class, and Crime Stoppers had came and had us all do like these PSAs or
okay.
whatever. So we broke up into groups, and for mine, like I wrote it and directed the one in my group, and we shot it and edited, and then ours ended up winning, and being on. They actually show it on TV sometimes, unfortunately.
Oh
Not
wow.
on channel 2. But yeah, it ended up winning, and I don't know, I just kind of got the bug from there, where that's where I like knew I wanted to really do it. I just loved it. And so I didn't know like what kind of filmmaker I wanted to
Hmm.
be. I just knew that I wanted to be in the video production field. So
And how old were you when that happened?
I was about 15,
Okay.
16, one of the two.
So could you think back, was there any like indications when you were, say, younger, like grade school or something like that? Did anything happen, or did you have a love for, like, say, writing, for instance, when you were younger, or it just something that you discovered at 15?
Well, when I was always an artist of some sort.
Okay.
So when I was in middle school, I was a illustrative artist. I drew, and in the 8th grade, I won the NAACP art and essay contest. Um, so I actually did have a background in art, and I also in high school I was a part of citywide poets.
Mm,
So um, so yeah, I did my fair share of artistic things,
okay.
but I guess this one just clicked. And when I had first got to high school, I thought that I was going to be an illustrator. But I realized that I hated it. I realized
Hmm.
that I didn't like the fact that, it would take me weeks to get, a good portrait, and then I
Okay.
still didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I really did love doing video or whatever, and just everything about it. So that's kind of what turned me on to it, and I just always love art. So, and I always love movies too, even as a kid. I mean, I could only watch like Disney movies, but I love them. So,
See, I think like for most of us creatives, I think
hmm
we have different interests in anything pretty much creative. Like me growing up,
hmm
I love to write. I'm a writer, especially
hmm
like short stories. Always been good at
Oh,
that.
nice.
And and I dabbled,
Uh
in
huh.
drawing, like with
Uh huh.
pastels and watercolors. And that's where it stayed in grade school. So so I didn't pick that back up. And like
Yeah.
with poetry, I only write poetry like when I feel some type of inspiration. So I think
Nice.
like you said, it's we might be into different things, but when we find that thing or a couple things that stick, like, oh, okay, yeah, I like this. This gives me a lot of joy,
Yeah.
and that it doesn't take that much effort.
Mhm.
You know that okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yep, and that's pretty much what it was. I just really loved it, and like you said, I dabble in a lot of
Hmm.
different things, and so I think that probably is like you said, it's just a artist thing where
Yep.
you're trying to find like what's your
Yeah. How to
niche.
better
Yeah,
express yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So everybody, Paige has a movie called Chasing After You. Clay and I, we saw it about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Um,
you guys watched it?
we watched it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
thank you.
saw it on you're welcome, on Amazon, and it was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was really good, and and I I don't want to sound like surprised, like, oh, it was good.
I mean, I understand though. If you, even if you, I say that too. Like, oh, it was really good. Like, it wasn't. Wow, I did that. No.
Right, I had a little because I don't want to tell because when I tell stuff like movies, I tend to tell a little bit too much, so I'm not going to do that. Because I'm a movie buff, I've been going to the movies. My mom been taking my brother and I ever
I
since
love the movies.
we were little. We saw some of everything from rated G to R. We sit up there covering our eyes when a scene come up, because she loved
hmm
movies. So yeah, this movie was really really good. So can you just tell everyone about your first movie, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's my first feature length film. So, yeah, it's basically a story of, I call it a story of man, woman, but guy, and it's about a guy, who pursues a girl, a guy named Mike, who pursues a young lady named Elise, who is only looking for a relationship, a closer relationship with God. And that's just, probably in one sentence,
Hmm.
the best way to say it. But pretty much it's parallels of two different worlds. With him, he's not really Christian.
Right.
He's not really saved, but and he just kind of frowns upon, the church people. And with her, she's overly churchy,
Right. Yes.
and she's always judging him,
Yeah.
judging people. So it's like they kind of clash there,
Hmm.
and the rest you just have to see. But
Yeah.
they have a lot of their own background story going on too. But yeah, that's my first feature film, Chasing After You, um, and it was certainly a journey creating it. I didn't expect it to even, you know, really go as far as
Mm.
it went. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. I was actually going to trash it. At one point.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Why?
It was a very long journey to like just get it done.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I was I we shot it in 2017. I was what, 24, 23. We shot it. It was like the hottest summer of all time. Um, and I just had like this idea, like I'm just gonna do this. Like I had some really crazy ambition, so I thought at the time it was really crazy, and but I know like nothing was gonna stop me from doing it. So I got all these people together, to shoot this film, and everybody just was really down to do it. But I really think it had a lot to do, with faith, with
Mhm.
faith, with my
Yeah.
faith, and just everybody truly just believing that a group of people could do something like this. And so and it was exciting too because nobody nobody I knew had ever shot a feature film, and
Yeah.
so we took my little Sony A6000, and we all got together and we like formed a group, and we shot it over 2 months in the summertime. Every weekend we were shooting, and it was it was interesting. I had to like recast like half the cast at first. Um,
What?
the guy who played Mike Malachi, he initially was just the doctor, but he remembered Mike's all of Mike's lines.
Because he said he was secretly wanting to be Mike at first.
Yeah. And so we were in rehearsal one day, and he was like, "I read," and he already knew the whole script, And so he just, hey, and so once we did get it finished, it was just like we had all broken to parts, and we were like, oh, you're gonna edit this part, you're gonna edit this part, and it just all fell apart pretty much, and I would
Mm,
say I probably sat on it for a good 6 months because I
mm.
was so frustrated with it because I was editing it myself, and so yeah, I just was like kind of over it, and then somebody like came to me one day and was just like, why are you like, what's up with the film, like this guy would ask me every day, what's up with the film, what's up with the
Okay.
film, and I'm just like, I don't know, like I don't know what to do, like I don't I'm
Right,
just in a
right,
rough spot right now. and
right.
so and so then he was like, well, you should just scrap it, and then I don't know, those is like fighting words for me, so
Mm. So that's
so
like in the Bible, Job's friends like just curse God and die. Just
yeah, right,
you know.
right, and I was just like, oh, now I know I gotta get it done. And
Right, right.
so then from that point I just like pressed forward. I started I just, did what I needed to do to get it finished. I found somebody to like, do mix and master the audio, and then last year, around March is when I officially got it finished, and then I just submitted it to, all these film festivals, and then like when fall came, that was around the same time that we were premiering it.
Hmm.
So along with the film festivals, it kind of ended up going on like a tour
Mm.
because we had our premiere, then we had screenings, then we had the film festivals all like back to back to back,
Hmm.
and so that's when we first started getting eyes on it, and
Okay.
then I ended up talking with Indie Rights. We got a distribution deal, and we were able to put it on Amazon and Tubi and Google Play and YouTube, and so that happened in February, and yeah, and people have been watching it.
Hmm.
Crazily enough.
See that will preach right there. See,
Yeah,
it's like is that when we're at that moment of breakthrough or completion, that's
yeah,
when all hell seems to want to break loose, and
yes.
that's when you know that it's something good on the
That
other
you have
side
to
of
get
this.
it done. Yeah,
Yes. That's
yeah.
awesome because it was a good film. It was a good film for your first one. I was like, okay.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I look at it sometimes and I just be like, I can't believe I wrote that. What was I going through?
Right, you
Or,
wrote
but I
it, you
wasn't.
directed it. Yeah.
It's really crazy because and every time somebody asks like, so where'd you, like, what was your inspiration for that? And honestly, my inspiration was really just God. He honestly led me through that whole script
Mhm.
because I couldn't even like the stories that I'm starting to tell now, I can't even relate to. They're not even for me.
Okay. I was just about to ask that. I was just about to ask, like, when you were writing this movie,
Hmm.
was there any bits and pieces of yourself in any other characters?
No, no. But the lead actress, Gabby Ruffin, she I worked with her. Uh, she's my friend in real life, but
Hmm.
I worked with her at a TV station while I was writing it, and this was years ago. I told her like, "Hey, I'm writing a film, and I really want you. I think you should be the lead." And she wasn't an actor that I knew of. She
Hmm.
wasn't even an actor, but she was just like, "All right, cool," you know. And then when I
Right.
finished this, I wasn't even finished with the script, and I told her, "Okay, we're about to shoot it," and she was like, "All right." And so we just shot it, and then she got to like when she started reading the script, she was like, "Okay, why do I feel like you're like in my life? Why are you writing my,
Oh
you
wow.
know?" Um, and so yeah, it's funny because a lot of the stories, they don't they don't necessarily directly relate to me, but they
Hmm.
always seem to relate, to like my cast and crew and just
Hmm.
people who are, surrounded by her, people who see it, surprisingly enough. So I'm grateful just to be a vessel most of the time.
Yeah, 'cause it's definitely a movie that has meaning. And another thing, why I was surprised because and Cam and Cam is a mutual friend of ours. She's actually
Hmm.
in your next movie.
Yep.
So, and she set this
Cameron.
up. Shout out to Cam.
Shout out to
Uh,
Cam. Hey Cam.
so we were just talking about just Detroit movies that come out of Detroit. You know, it seems to
Hmm.
be like the same thing. You
Yeah.
know, it's in girls twerking and strippers
Yeah.
and this and that. It's like it has the same type of narrative. So it was great and refreshing to see this movie that actually have a meaning to it and a purpose. And for those out there, like I don't want to see no church movie. It's not a
It's
church
not.
movie
Yeah.
per se, but it has some godly principles in it. But it's still a good movie for anybody to watch.
Yeah. And that's I do try to make relatable stories
Hmm.
and stories that I mean they are faith based films, but
Hmm.
they're also just films that I feel like anybody can watch because real people go through these
Yeah.
things, and a
Yeah.
lot of faith based films don't are not true to life. Um, they're very cookie cutter, so to speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so and that's all I tried to do was just make it so it was like you and me, like
Yeah.
talking. It's no, and I feel like our generation kind of needs something like that to where even though it's faith based, you can still be like, oh, I see myself in this situation.
Right.
So that's pretty much that, and I am like for my next film, the one that Cameron's in.
Yeah.
um I mean, I did something a little different as far as the target audience is still the same,
Hmm.
but and the whole faith based message is there, but it's just God is really everywhere, and that's
Okay.
so well yeah.
So what can you just give us a little tidbit? What is that one? Meeting Boone, right? What is that one
Yes.
about?
So, Meeting Boone is about a guy, an ex convict. He comes out of jail after 10 years, and he comes home to the death of his younger brother.
Mm.
Um, and he pretty much it's been reported like on the news and throughout like his community that his brother had actually committed suicide,
Mm.
but he knows his brother, and he goes to pursue like the actual case to see if he doesn't believe that that's actually true. And
Okay.
so in the midst of that, at his brother's funeral, he starts to work at the funeral home. He actually begins to work at the funeral home because he has a relationship with the funeral home director, through his family. And so he begins to work at the funeral home, and his younger brother's best friend that he never knew, obviously, because he was in jail for 10
Right.
years. But her name is Layla, and you know, they kind of build a relationship from there. But the problem with that, obviously, is that she's like 10 years younger than him, and
Mhm.
you know, so they go, you know, they have their own, you know, aspect of the story, but it's really just about I call it, you know, a story of love, loss. It's really big on loss though, because I feel
Okay.
like, especially this year, you know, we've all been experiencing a lot of losses,
Yeah.
unexpectedly, and it's been hitting really hard, and so it's really just about like processing that, um, but it's also about love and spirituality too. So,
Okay, that's deep. I can't wait for that one to come out. When are you looking about for it to come out?
so the trailer the trailer will be out this, you know, probably in the next month or so.
Okay.
I actually do have the trailer finished right now, but we're not probably going to release it for another, you know, another month or so. And
Hmm.
then the film, uh, we wanted, I mean, obviously, you know, with COVID and stuff,
Yeah.
we wanted to do an actual premiere. But by the time we actually finish with post production, it won't be till wintertime. So we were thinking, we're trying to push it out spring 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, God willing, everything will.
Yes.
Oh my
God
God.
willing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, what do you find the most challenging part of making a film?
Um, I mean, for me, the entire film is
Mm,
just honestly production. Production might be the easiest part, and the most challenging part. Um, I don't know, like just from beginning to end, it's a whole like process because you're with it so long, you know.
mhm, mhm.
But I guess I would have to, if I had to say something, I would say I would say post production, because that's after you shot it,
Yes.
it's after you know had, that's after all the fun part. You know, the fun part was actually production.
Right.
Um, so after production, you have to sit with this, and then you got to deal with all your mistakes that you probably made and didn't realize that you made.
Mhm.
You also have to deal with the processes, and now you got to sit, edit it, color it. You got to send it off, and that's gonna take time. And then, you know, that's probably the hardest part, because it's the final stretch.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, um, the audio is messed up right here. We gotta call in everybody to overdub this, or
Okay.
you know, just something. I don't know, but it's it's the hardest part, but it's the best part because you're getting it done.
Yeah.
Really, it's really like it's the third quarter, well, the
Yeah.
fourth quarter. Well, no, the fourth quarter I would say is actually distribution, like getting it out,
Okay.
the premiere and stuff like that. So,
And I think I might know this question, but I don't know. You might surprise me. So, what is the most rewarding part of making a film?
yeah, you probably don't know this. The most rewarding part for me, in making a film is obviously when the film is out and I get to sit in the back of the theater, or you know, I get to sit in a room with people and watch their reactions,
Hmm.
and just when I know that it actually made a difference, you know, in
Hmm.
somebody's life. um for me, like, Cameron was one of those people, um where, you know, she had pretty much told me, you know, kind of her testimony based off of the film, and I wasn't really sure at the time who it was relating to. I mean, I just thought it only related to millennials, or you know,
Yeah.
people that was the same age as, you know, the people in the film. But you know, she was like, no, it relates to everybody, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I did learn that too. I got an opportunity to premiere it at my church, and my church is predominantly, you know, it's older people,
Okay.
and so, and they, you know, they were able to relate to it, and they enjoyed it, and so, really, it's just for me, um, knowing that me making films like this, ultimately God gets the glory,
Hmm.
and secondly, you know, just people can feel some type of transformation, or just, you know, feel moved at all.
That's good. See, when it's a good when it's a good story, anybody can relate to it. I mean, shoot, I still watch some cartoons and I still get a message
Yeah,
from it, you know?
yeah, yeah. I was actually just talking with my friend about how good of a story The Lion King was.
Yeah.
And just with the whole Beyonce, Black is King, her dropping Black is
Mhm.
King again. I mean, Black is King, and she kind of redeveloped the story to fit her own perception.
Mhm.
And so, but it's still nonetheless The Lion King, no matter what
All right.
platform or where you put it, it's still a good story.
Yeah, it's still a good story.
Yeah.
Is there who are some people like on your wish list that you want to work with?
It's funny that you said that because I just told somebody like uh I just like I would just like look up actors and stuff, and these are like local actors or just people that I've seen in other projects, and I'll literally like screenshot a picture of them in my phone and
Mhm.
then start building a cast from it. But
Mm.
I was like, am I crazy? Like I asked somebody like, am I crazy for doing this? And they were like, no, no, that's not crazy. I was like, okay, well, I'm about to screenshot Viola Davis. And
Okay. Okay. Mhm.
but yeah, I think I would want to work. I would want to work with Viola Davis for sure. I think she's a really amazing talent, and
Yes.
also oddly enough, like I really love Meryl Streep.
No, she's
um,
good. She's very
yeah,
versatile.
I really love Meryl Streep. I she has amazing range too.
Yes.
Um, so I mean, I would be honored to work with. I mean, I really love good actors, and good actresses, like good talent, people who have range, people
Mhm.
who I mean, that's really like it could be anybody as long as they're good at what they do.
Mhm.
I would want to work with them. So, but yeah, I guess I would say Viola Davis, but nobody really in particular,
Okay. So, what would you what kind of advice would you give someone since you got your first one under your belt? So, so what kind of advice would you give anyone who is looking to direct or make a film?
Um, well, it's a lot of advice I could give them, but one of the first things I would say is just if you want to do it, just do it. It's not impossible at all. It's not impossible. All you need is one to believe in yourself
Mhm.
and get a group of people who believe in you, and it can be done. So I think that's really the most important thing is just believing that you can do it and then actually doing it.
That's true. It because a lot of I give you kudos because it's you actually made a film. Like a lot of people might talk about it, they might,
Mm-hmm.
wish they could do it, but you actually went out and created a whole film.
Yeah.
So, and you were younger too. So, and it like a lot of great directors and filmmakers like your Steven Spielbergs and um your Spike Lees, they started with, small projects and it grew. So, the words say don't despise small beginnings. So just
Mm-hmm.
just keep it up. You're doing a great job. Like I said, for that to be your first film, it was really good. And
Thank you.
for those who want to see Chasing After You, again, it's on Amazon. You said Tubi,
Mm-hmm.
Google.
Google Play and YouTube, Amazon, Tubi, Google Play, and YouTube.
Okay. So, sometimes I like to ask people like just some random out the box questions, nothing related to what we're talking about now.
Cool.
But
Yeah. Awesome.
but this kind of related. What is something that you watch is like a guilty pleasure? Like you watch that?
Um, Let me see. I watch a lot of stuff. Um, Something that's like a guilty pleasure. A
Uh-huh.
guilty pleasure. I'm gonna say it's typically when I'm on Facebook. I always look at those. You know how they put together those love and hip hop clips,
Yeah.
and it'll be like 58 minutes. And I always say like I'm not about to watch this whole thing, but I sit there and I watch the whole Love and Hip Hop. So I would say those, and it's never planned, but I just fall into it. So that and I love Grey's Anatomy, but
Okay.
it's not nothing to be guilty about. I love Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
great show.
good.
Yeah, I just cry a lot. No,
I know, right? I'm
yeah,
like, I'm watching it. I watched Grays since it first debuted.
really
Yeah, and I kind of took a
took
break
you on an
from it.
emotional roller coaster.
Right. I kind of took a break from it when because I was mad. I'm like, I'm not watching it when Isaiah Washington got fired. I
Yeah,
love Dr. Burke, you know.
I
But
know.
then I picked it back up, and it seemed like every episode I'm like crying.
Yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
if they don't get you for one of your favorite characters, then they're gonna bring some patient in that you go have a connection with
Yes.
at some point, and they're gonna die by the end of the episode,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
hate it. Or they'll string them along for 2-3 episodes and then kill them.
Shonda has no mercy. Okay.
I know, but I love her.
Yeah.
She has
So,
no mercy though. Yeah.
she doesn't. So before we close, I am interested to know who are some of your favorite directors
Oh,
and
some of my
filmmakers.
favorite directors. I love Gina Prince Bythewood. She directed Love and Basketball, Disappearing Acts, uh, Secret Life of the Bees. She recently just
Mm,
directed The Old Guard on Netflix, which by far I would say is one of the best films Netflix has ever
okay.
made.
Paige. Okay. I tried. Maybe we need
You
to
didn't
try
like
again.
it?
Maybe we need to try again. I don't know. We
It's
got
an
to a
action,
certain point. I don't know. It's just what's her face? Who the lead character?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like not into
you're not
her
a fan of her.
anymore. Yeah.
That's
So
fair.
maybe that's what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. But I do love Gina Prince Bythewood.
Okay.
Um and all the work that she puts out. I also I also really like of course I love, everybody. I think every black director has to, just at least if nothing else pay homage to Spike Lee.
Right.
Cuz
Right.
even if the stuff, no offense, the stuff that he's putting out today isn't what it was, back in the day. Um,
I
he's
did
still
like his last one, the one
the
on
Five
Netflix.
Bloods. Yeah,
Yes, that was deep.
yeah, um, yeah. I don't know. I couldn't get over the old people being old in the flashbacks, but
They were even trying.
they were deep.
Everyone but oh my God, what's his name? Black Panther.
Yeah, the Black Panther.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, Chadwick. Yeah.
Yes. So of course, Spike Lee, and then uh, I for some reason can't think of his name.
What film did he make?
Oh, I can tell you what film he made. Higher Learn, The Boys in the Hood.
Oh,
John
John
Singleton.
Singleton.
Yes,
Hmm.
John Singleton. That is my guy. I really love John
Okay.
Singleton. I first I started watching when I was in college, because even though we took film classes, they didn't teach you about like black films or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I just took it upon myself to like study them myself, and I started watching all the Spike Lee movies, and
Hmm.
then I dove into John Singleton, and I just love my favorite in my top five is Higher Learning. I
Yeah,
love
that was a
that
good
film.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Do the Right Thing,
Hmm.
and I want to tell you my favorite movie, because it's not even like nobody would expect it, but
Okay.
it's Princess Diaries. That's my favorite movie.
No, I love it. I
Oh,
love Anne Hathaway. I don't know why people
I
hate on
love
her.
Anne Hathaway too.
Don't know why she get the flack that she get.
Really, she gets a lot. I
No,
love Anne
I
Hathaway.
I think she gets a lot of flack because people think she might be, fake because she's overly sweet. I just think she's sweet.
Yeah, I love Anne Hathaway, and I love Princess Diaries. Nobody can tell me anything about it.
No, I can see that. You like 1 and 2?
Yeah, yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. I just watch them, every now and then. So,
Okay.
um,
There's
yeah,
no shame in that.
yeah. I also love. I like Love Jones.
See,
Also,
see, I can't.
you can't.
Mm-mm.
It's so funny because a lot of people who back when Love Jones came out, they said they didn't like. When it came out, they didn't like it. Um, and then
I remember when it came. I was a teenager when it came out. I didn't see it then.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it until years later,
Uh
and
huh.
I think it was this is probably old school for you. I think this was a Blockbuster or
Uh
somebody
huh. I
had
love Blockbuster.
had a sale on the DVD for
Uh
like
huh.
$5. I was like, oh, let me get this because I've always heard how good it was. And I've never seen it. So, oh, let me get this. I saw it. I mean, it's just
It
okay.
was like
Even
okay,
though I
huh?
love me some and always have loved Lorenz Tate.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it was okay. I have not watched it again.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay because people, I think for a lot of people it probably just fell flat. But I don't know. I think I just grew up liking it. It was one of my mom's favorite movies. She watched it a whole lot.
Okay.
So that along with Love and Basketball, but
Yeah.
I do love like Jason's lyric.
Yes.
I really love Jason's lyric.
Yeah.
They don't tell stories like that anymore.
They
Like
don't.
um yeah, I would love to just get back to that type of film. Like they don't, nobody writes.
Yes. Please bring that back.
Yeah, yeah. I just watched Jason's Lick the other day. So anything along those lines,
Okay.
I love black cinema. Um,
Yeah.
but I love all movies anyway.
Mhm.
So I'll watch anything. But yeah.
So thank you so much, Paige, for taking time out and blessing us with your storytelling. Again, everyone, if you want to see Chasing After You, you can look at it on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Google, and
YouTube.
YouTube. I knew it was another one. Okay,
And
and
thanks for
YouTube.
having me so much. I really
You are
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks for making films with a purpose.
Thank I'll I'll try to make a lot more if I can. So
Okay.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you. So thank you everyone for listening and or watching. We will be back again with another center stage episode next month, and we'll see who we'll have then. So thanks for kicking it with me, Kay Marie, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Okay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and